It's fine. It's fine. It's just the last episode of season 2 of the Donghua of Heaven Official's Blessing. That's all. It's Romania Black, and I'm really sad, damn it. It's the last episode of season 2 of the Donghua. How are we already through 12 weeks? We even had time off in between episodes 6 and 7, or 5 and 6. Whatever break we took, it should not already be over, and I'm sad. And I am not ready to be on hiatus again. I was spoiled because you all were on hiatus a lot longer than I was. And when season 1 ended, I was like, oh, we have to wait. And you guys were like, oh, you have to wait. I took advantage and for granted the time that I had in between season 1 and season 2. And now I get to join you all in the forever wait for season 3. I do want to point out, I did have someone comment and talk about it through Patreon, where they were basically saying that there is likely not going to be, like, because I talked a few episodes back about the situation of there being, you know, what if they only do 3 seasons of the Donghua? There's so much material with Heaven Official's Blessing. It's like twice as long as Modao Zushi. 3 seasons is not long enough. And I was feeling really worried because I was like, what if they're going to try to condense everything into one more season? How can they do that? And someone on Patreon was like, whoa, calm your tits, Romania. Whoa, easy there. They were like, no, they have like an international committee now planning out the seasons because they know that this has gained notoriety beyond just China, and that the international community of Don Mai and BL enthusiasts are like, yes, Heaven Official Blessing. They're going to capitalize the hell out of that, right? Their government may not approve of the content, but they're like, we like money, so we'll probably keep on making this series, which, you know what? Fine, take my money. I'll do it. And I think a big portion of it that they were pointing out in their comment is that the Japanese market now, they're doing a Japanese dub of the series, and the Japan market is getting in on it, and that's some very easy money. So that makes me hopeful because I want MXTX's work to get adapted and be, you know, viewed by audiences from across the world because the story is just that good. It's one of my favorite stories. I love this series so much. I just love the story to pieces and the characters to pieces, and I want all good things for MXTX. So, with that being said, I hope that more seasons get produced. I'm hopeful, but as I do with any other season or series that's continuous, now I'm just waiting with you all. So, what do we do? But yeah, I'm excited. I'm very sad because this episode's only 25 minutes. I did the math, y'all. Let it be known. There were 6 less minutes this season than last time. Season 1 was 6 minutes longer, damn it. But maybe they just couldn't find enough material to adapt in only 6 minutes, and they said, we'll just call it good. Maybe they found a good place to end. We'll see. But I have faith in the team. I feel like they have a plan, so we're just going to see it through, see what we get, and we'll go from there, right? I've stayed off social media all day. I have no clue what's in store. I was so afraid of a spoiler today. At work, I stayed off of Discord. I stayed off social media. I was like, nope, I don't want any hints or clues. I'm excited. The only thing I was notified is that Reiki over on Patreon, they tagged me in a post on Discord saying that there was one, like an advertisement that was Heaven Official's Blessing themed, and I was super excited. And then there's also apparently a post season 2 celebratory video. So I want to watch both of those with you all and talk about them with you all. So that's exciting. So we're going to do that. I do want to look at the OP and ED lyrics. So we're going to look at that. That's going to be exciting. But so we're going to check those out after we're done with the episode. As we get into the discussion, we're going to check those things out. So that's fun. But yeah, otherwise it's now time to wait. And I'm almost finished with the novel reactions for Heaven Official's Blessing over, you know, on my channel. So we've just got about a month left of those and finishing those all up before I move on to Scum Villain. So that's really exciting. It's one of those things where I would normally be sad that the Donghua is ending, and I'm like, oh, I'm sad, we're gonna be on hiatus, but I'm confident we'll have a season 3, so that's exciting. And then I would normally be sad about Heaven Official's Blessing ending, but there's still the live action that's getting produced, Eternal Faith, and if it's anything like The Untamed, we're gonna have a lot of fun with it. So whenever that comes out, I would love to react to it on the channel. So I'm not totally sad. There's still more Heaven Official's Blessing yet to come, so that is something to look forward to. But The only comment I have I can actually talk about in the main portion of the video and not the spoiler corner is from Anime Annie. They talked about they pointed out something really cool in the gold elements of Lan Chu's sword, because we talked about, I think it was episode 10 or 11, Lan Chu's sword looks like the sword that his father used, which is a cool callback to that. But Anime Annie pointed out that the gold aspects on the sword show that Lan Chu, the promise that his family made to integrate Yongin and Shanla, was not forgotten. Because the gold elements, we know from season 1 and from the story talking about it, Shanla made a lot of gold elements. So the fact that Lan Chu's sword integrates those shows that combination of Yongin and Shanla together. And I thought that was really, really cool. And also the hairpin that Lan Chu gave to his mother was also made from someone from Shanla. Although, as many people have pointed out, hairpins in MXTX works are typically bad luck. Don't give them to your relatives. Something bad will usually happen. So yeah, I'm sad this is only 25 minutes, but it could be worse. It could only be 21 minutes. Could be worse. So at least we have that. But I'm so excited, y'all. I want to give a special shout out to everybody on Patreon, everybody on YouTube that's been watching my Donghua reactions. We'll be doing Scum Villain in March. So we're going to start Scum Villain in March. I'm really excited. But we're going to finish up Heaven Official's Blessing this month and next month on YouTube and Patreon. So there's that. But thank you all so much for following me and for watching this series with me and reading along with me. I've been so excited about it. I'll talk more in the novel reactions as well. But I want to give a special shout out to our philanthropy tier, to Anime Annie, to Alex Cornejo, to Anna, to Be Happy, to Dana, to Destiny Marie, to Danger Zone, to Kiri, to Eric, to Lyndon, to Loisiji, aka Frogman, to Matthew Palfinier, to Nameless Monster, to Shimoyama, to Sunspots, to Trail Translucent Men, and Murfner as well. Thank you guys so much for supporting me. I really appreciate it. All of my love. So as per usual, when we end the Donghua, we got a lot of stuff to go over. We got a lot of stuff to do. I'm really excited. I hope you all are as well, but I've stayed off all day. I'm excited to see what happens. And I'm excited to watch the Japanese dub and the English dub now that I'm finished. I will talk about it in the discussion, but we're not going to waste any more time. We are going to dive right into episode 12 of Heaven Official's Blessing, the season finale. We're going to do that here in 3, 2, 1, and let's go. Oh my god. I feel like I'm gonna have to, we have so many things for me to look at for this season finale. I've got the OP and ED lyrics that I want to look at. I've got this special ad that Heaven Official's Blessing did. I have the post season 2 celebration video. I've got those like 4 things to look at. So I feel like I'm gonna have to do like a video. I'm gonna have to do in the video like a little like timestamp of where everything is at, but I'm gonna save the reactions to the OP and ED lyrics and the 2 videos for the end of the discussion, like past the spoiler corner. So I'm definitely gonna do like little timestamps in the video to show you where those are at. So if you want to skip the spoiler corner, you can, but I want to do it all of that stuff kind of at the end. And I will go ahead and preface and say that the OP and ED reads may have spoilers in them. I don't think the advertisement will, and I don't know if the post season 2 celebration video, those will be fine, but the OP and ED lyrics will probably have some spoilers, so just be aware of that. And I'll say it again when I do the OP and ED lyrics because I want to talk about it in like full context. So, okay, well, so we ended on a cliffhanger. It was a much gentler cliffhanger than MXTX would ever give us. If you've read the novel of Heaven Official's Blessing, then you know MXTX creates very cruel and unjust cliffhangers. Cliffhangers that make you want to pull your hair out. And this was definitely one of them. But they like tried to soften it. They were like, instead of it just, Xie Lian raises the sword to strike at Qirong, who's possessed this father of Guzi. As he's like raising the sword and going down to strike Qirong, we cut away. And no spoiler, in the book, it just cuts. And that's all you get. And it's like, oh, here they softened the blow by like being like, oh, look, there's a little montage. It's like, you should give them the full MXTX treatment show, but they're kind to the Donghua onlys. Kind, you know. Oh my God. So obviously there's a lot to talk about. Obviously we're gonna have a spoiler corner, but let's just go through this episode before we get to that point, shall we? Before we get to that point, I like that Hua Chong is like piecing out for the season. He's like, hey, I'll be back whenever. Who knows? And Xie Lian's like, okay. One thing I like about Xie Lian and Hua Chong throughout this is that throughout seasons 1 and 2, even when they're separated, Xie Lian and Hua Chong, they have a very healthy kind of like understanding between each other that even if you're gone, it's okay. I'm going to come back. Don't worry. Like there's this constant like feeling of reassurance that, yeah, when Hua Chong's walking away this season, you're like, oh no, I don't want him to leave. But there's just something in the back of your mind that's like, oh, he won't be gone long. It'll be fine. Like it's just very reassuring. And I like the faith that Xie Lian and Hua Chong kind of have between each other, being like, yeah, I'll see you again soon. Don't you worry, old buddy, old pal. It's really nice. And, you know, a lot of times characters, they pine after one another when they can't be around each other. And here, that's not the case. Here, Hua Chong and Xie Lian, they just kind of, you know, they know that it's going to be okay. And they're going to see each other again at some point. We don't know how long between visits it'll be, but we know that it's going to happen, right? And then the way they animated Xie Lian throughout this episode, his expressions, like him going from being like soft and stoic to seeming like a little innocent baby ferret to being like, to his eyes going red when he was so mad at Chi Rong, like, what are you doing? To like just, it just made my heart swell. I was like, Xie Lian, I love him so much. Xie Lian's such a great protagonist. I just love him. So yeah, let's get past this OP. I like the Windmaster's like, well, that was fun. How do you know him? Windmaster's like, so how'd you guys meet? How'd you become friends with him? I'm like, Windmaster, we were just, do you not remember him from the Ghost City? You were in Paradise Manor with him. Well, I guess you didn't have time to ask Xie Lian at that point because y'all were running away from earthworms. Guess we didn't have time to talk about it, but I like that Windmaster's like, so what do you think? He seems nice. Meanwhile, Function is covered in blood and he's like, did no one understand what happened to me just now? Is no one going to comfort me? Windmaster's like, I tried to, but you pushed me away. Let it be known as well, I don't know if it's just the lack of Hua Chong that brought this on. I think it's the lack of Hua Chong that brought this on. But like the moment Hua Chong walks away and Function, like that moment Function wipes the blood from his face. I'm gonna take a screenshot. Why? When did he get daddy in your energy? When did this happen? Why are you making me feel this way about Function? I've never been attracted to him at this point in the book. Not even on my radar. Wasn't even thinking about Function. I was like, oh yeah, the Function's there. What? I was like, what show? You're giving him such daddy energy. Why? What is happening? I was just like, I felt like I was taking crazy pills. I'm like, am I the only one noticing this? I hope I'm not. I was just like, oh, okay. And then Xie Lian turns back and goes, oh, hey, my best friend. My other best friend. Oh my God. And then they kind of just snicker at him. I'm like, poor Function. He gets slimed and they just snicker at him. But just like the way they draw him, they made him a tall glass of red wine. I was like, the fudge? I don't think I'm the only one that, I hope I'm not the only one that has had this happen. The zatification of Function. I was like, why? They just animated the hell out of him. I'm taking so many screenshots right now, y'all don't even know. But he just looks so damn good. I'm flabbergasted. I'm like speaking into my microphone here that you all can't see. I am flabbergasted. I don't know what else to say. And he's like, I can't argue with superior skill. And he knows his place. Oh, a Function! Not attracted to him at all until this moment. What has happened? Why is the Donghua doing these things? What? He's like, nothing else to say. And Xie Lian's like, it's okay, friend. It's fine. So they go back to the Heavenly Realm. And again, It's so interesting that they go back to the heavenly realm and everybody is just kind of like just looking over at Xie Lian like, oh, it's him again. And then they're all just snickering at Feng Shin. We'll talk about Mu Qing in a second. We will talk about Mu Qing. But they all just like go back in and hear about this, that basically they suspect there's a mole in the heavenly court. So it's interesting. We know that the Earthmaster now, Junwoo sent the Earthmaster to go spy on Huachong and try to figure out who the mole is, because Junwoo suspects that the reason Huachong knows all of this stuff about the Heavenly Court is because there's been a spy there the whole time, and Junwoo wants to figure out who it is. And so he sent Ming Yi to go find out who it was. Didn't exactly work out, and now he's like, Xie Lian, you should be careful. And then Xie Lian's like, but Daddy, I love him. He's just like, no, I love Huachong. Huachong wouldn't do anything wrong. Huachong's like Mona Lisa Saperstein being like, I have never done anything wrong in my life. And Xie Lian's like, I know, and I love you. Except Huachong doesn't say money, please, right? But oh my God. So everybody there notices that they're there. Everyone's talking about the spy, trying to figure out who it is. Everybody's just bitching nonstop. And then the Windmaster's like, oh, hey, everybody, what's up? I love what a congenial person the Windmaster is. If this were RuPaul's Drag Race, Miss Congeniality would go to the Windmaster every season. No doubt. The Windmaster would be winning left and right, because I don't think there's a character as congenial at this point as the Windmaster. They're just so friendly, and everyone just likes them no matter what, right? Meanwhile, Xie Lian's looking around, seeing, and everybody's eyes following him. I thought that was great. And then they see Feng Shin. They're like, oh man, a guy with blood covered on him. I like that the heavenly officials, who are literal deities, and many of them probably became heavenly officials because of the battlefield. They're something like, oh, blood. It's like, you guys have seen that before. Although Mu Qing's expression when Feng Shin walks in, he looks like the damn cat that ate the canary. He just looks so pleased. Mu Qing is like, yes. Did you get slimed? I'm living for like the cattiness of Mu Qing. Oh my God. I love it. It's so great. You know what? If we're talking about Drag Race, I've recently been watching season 2 of the UK, which is from a few years ago. It's a great season. Mu Qing is Ahura. Mu Qing is so Ahura. And I guess that would make Feng Shin's not quite sassy enough to be Tace, but they have the relationship of Ahura and Tace, where Ahura and Tace are like, what? Roommates? We clearly, we don't have a relationship. But they clearly do. So it's like, Mu Qing is giving such Ahura vibes. Not that he's a whore, but he's giving those vibes. And then, oh my God, the moment they look up to where Junwoo is sitting and they see Ling Wen and Junwoo is rubbing his temples, looking like he is having the biggest migraine possible. The way they animated him in this episode. Oh my God. And Xie Lian's like, yep, he looks like he's been through a lot. But yeah, they keep talking about like, what are we going to do? What about Lan Chanshu? And Mu Qing's just like, oh, well, you know, would Huachong care about Paradise Manor? The thing about it is Mu Qing is like, he is seizing the moment to like make it his and be like, I know all of the hot gossip. But the moment that there's some hot gossip Mu Qing doesn't know about that gets spilled, he's like, wait a minute, I want to know the tea. And everybody's like, no, you can't know the tea. He reminds me also of, what's his face from Hamilton that wants to know, he wants to be in the room where it happens. Aaron Burr. Yeah, Mu Qing reminds me of Aaron Burr from Hamilton, where he's like, I want to be in the room where it happens, and everybody keeps him like out of it. So very, very interesting, right? And then, but he looks really good there. And I like the Windmaster's out here. The Windmaster's out here waving that whisk, waving that fan around, defending his homeboy Xie Lian. And then who shows up? This gutter slut Pei Ming walks in and goes, well, I was supposed to be on duty, but I guess I wasn't doing my job. He's like, I was busy doing other things. Oh, that's man whore. He's just standing there. I love when he's like, it was my responsibility. And I love that he's like, I neglected my duties. He just looks so small there, like just standing there. And I love the Windmaster's like, oh, you neglected your duties? You bitch. Because the Windmaster doesn't like Pei Ming for whatever reason. And then Muqing is like, what? Also, we talk about, I know people have talked about this the moment Muqing walked out with his fashion, but that collar around his neck, it's Britney, bitch. Like, there's no other way to say it about Muqing. I'm living for it. Meanwhile, Junwoo is like about to have an aneurysm up there on the stage. Up there, he's like about to croak. He cannot take it any longer, right? And they're like, Your Majesty, what do we do? And then, of course, he's like, tell me the message. Tell me anything to get these people out of here. Junwoo's like, I will do literally anything to get these people out of this hall right now. So it can just be me and Xie Lian. Please. Anything. I'll do whatever you want. And Ling Wen's like, yeah, he's going to go after the green ghost. So what are we going to do? And so then, yeah, he sends Pei Ming and Muqing and Feng Xin to go and reinforce the heavenly capital to make sure nothing crazy happens. And then he whisks Xie Lian off to go talk to him. And everybody kind of gets these catty, I'm like, they say all these catty remarks about Xie Lian being like, oh, well, the emperor, he gives Xie Lian a lot of favors. Just let Xie Lian do whatever he wants. I see how it is. Nothing's going to come of this. And I'm like, he's right there. Xie Lian is standing right there beside y'all. Like, he can hear every word you're saying. And he's like, thanks. I'm like, oh my God. Just poor Xie Lian. And then, can we talk about Junwoo's, his giant, massive ass throne that could fit a small village on that throne? Oh my God, it's huge. It's a very interesting comparison to the divan that Hua Chong has in Paradise Manor, except Hua Chong is like, Xie Lian, you come over here. And Hua Chong is just like, no, I need to look at all these scrolls. And he's sitting firmly in the middle, right? And Xie Lian's like, okay. So he basically warns Xie Lian to be careful about Hua Chong, that there's a mole, somebody's spying, and we need to be very extra careful about what we say and do because... and Xie Lian finally tells him everything about Feng Xin. And there's like, I liked the way that Junwoo's expressions change as Xie Lian is telling him the story, and he's just like, really? He's like, the effort you put into this is hardly rewarded inside and out. And then he's like, you've always been like this. And he's like, the green ghost is being chased by Lan Chanshu. And he's like, I'm pondering something else. And he's like, let me share the joy. Junwoo, he gets some seductive looks in this episode, right? Very much so. And so then he basically tells Xie Lian what he suspects, and that he's like, look, I'd like to believe that Hua Chong is innocent in all this, and that he hasn't sent a spy, and everything's all right as rain, but I can't take any risks. I need to make sure whether or not this is the case. I like the scene between Junwoo and Xie Lian talking about Hua Chong. It's really well done. And I like the dragon motif. Now that everybody said that on his arm is a dragon, you see his whole palace and his own personal throne room is just dragons everywhere. And the motif's really good. But man, they make Junwoo look really stoic in this episode. Yep. And then he talks about how he's like, you know, ghosts, when you either ascend to the heavens or you descend into eternal damnation. And these ghosts, if they are supremes like Hua Chong, they are forged from, they'd say Copper Stove Mountain, but it's Mount Tonglu. They are formed from Mount Tonglu out of having a massive amount of suffering, and they're dangerous. So he's like, you've got to be careful. They're more terrifying than you can possibly imagine. And we know Hua Chong is very terrifying. He could legit do some serious damage if he wants to. And he's like, look, he's been aware of the heavenly realm's workings, so this is a problem. And we can't overlook it. And Xie Lian's like, well, I'm sure it's nothing bad. I'm sure everything's fine. I just can't get over taking screenshots of Junwoo. He looks really good in this episode. And Xie Lian's like, he lets slip, he says San Long. And then he's like, oh, I mean, Hua Chong, don't mind me. He's like, I'm sure he's fine. and Junwoo just staring back at him. The way they animated him and Xie Lian this episode, they did really, really well. They both look really good. And so then I really liked the concept of Xie Lian going back to the palace that is modeled after his home, but there's just a big X on the door, like he can't get in. I like metaphorically what it represents in that it's saying like he can't go back to the past. He's being barred from his past. He can't go back to it. And just like he can't go back into the palace anymore because it's under investigation. And any flashback with Xie Lian as a baby and his mom is so freaking cute. And so what I like about this is that, normally our protagonist in a series, usually if they go through like a moment of sadness or crisis, they like they have this big emotional outburst, right? Here with Xie Lian, he doesn't have this big emotional outburst. He just runs. He just runs away from the heavenly realm and runs to the mausoleum where his family is, because everything with Qirong has brought back memories of his family and reminded him that they're gone. All of this. And so Xie Lian's like, I just need to go visit them, and I need to go talk to my parents and tell them about seeing Qirong and just get closure there, right? And so he runs back. But oh my God, the whole training dojo at the top, for some reason, I forgot that it wasn't there anymore. And so when he got to the top, I thought this was modern times because he saw all the people like walking down the road and everything. And I thought it was real, but it was all an illusion. And so when he gets to the top and sees the dojo and they're all training, I'm like, oh, well, the dojo's still around and people are training there. It's just not, from Xie Lian's time. No, it's all been dilapidated and destroyed. And it's like, oh, forgot. Forgot that. That illusion made me like go, oh, okay. Good feeling gone. And then they show you like the swing that's broken. You're like, oh, never mind. But him going to like the temple, using Feng Shen to like swing through the brush. And then he finds like, I like the effect they do in this series where they make the sword disappear and reappear. So they don't have to keep animating it there in case if they forget. But if they need to pull it out, it's right there. That's a nice little effect. That's a nice little way of doing that. But the temple being just like remnants. Everything's just like this skeletal framework is still there, but the rest is destroyed. And then you have like the well with the dragon and everything. And then you go down in there and that leads to the mausoleum. Mm-hmm. And I like the little knowledge that you can tell Xie Lian's been there before. And he goes to see his family. And the sad thing is he can't offer anything because he gave the steamed bun to Hua Chong in the ghost city. So he can't offer anything on the plate. So he's just like, okay. Because you get the idea he's been there before, like to see his family or whenever he needed to like go there to talk to his mom. And he's like, I don't know how to handle Qirong. And I honestly like how Xie Lian laments. He's like, look, I don't know what to do because I can't stop Lan Chu from trying to capture him and hurt him, but I know it's not going to work. But the Heavenly Realm's not going to let this go. So how do I defend my cousin? Do I even want to defend my cousin? What do I even do? And then we hear the sound from the coffin. In the novel, that freaked me the hell out. I was like, when I read the novel, when we got to this part, I was like, oh, hell no. But it's worse. It's not his parents coming back to life. It's Goozy scattering his mom's ashes everywhere. And that one little moment where Xie Lian goes, Mom. Nope. That part sucked. I was like, oh, because it's like the one you can see in his eyes, the way they animate him for that one little brief fleeting moment. He's happy to see her again. And then he's like, wait, that's not right. She can't be. He says the Queen Mother departed from the sea of suffering 800 years ago and never became a resentful spirit. So who could it be? And could you imagine opening up a coffin and there's a child like wrapped up in a shroud that I'm assuming was on your mom at some time, and then her bones have just become dust? Can you imagine? Can you imagine? And Xie Lian getting so freaked out in that moment and saying, then where is my mother? Oh my God, yeah. And he's like, where is my mom? And him like grabbing this little kid and pulling it out, being like, where have you taken my mother's body? And it's disintegrated. Like if it was there, it's gone. Oh my God. Oh, I'm going to talk in a spoiler corner about this moment, but you should definitely read the novel for this part. I'm telling you, you should definitely read the novel for this part. And then Xie Lian just freaking out. And then the thing for me, though, is, okay, he turns around and Qirong, so Qirong has possessed the dad of Guzi, right? They don't really show you this. They don't really show it very well in this, and it is from the novel, but I will say this. If people are wondering, it took me a hot second to remember. I was like, why is he wearing those clothes? It took me a second to remember. If you have not read the novel, this is a tiny spoiler to why Qirong is dressed up like that. But I'm going to say it anyway, because it's not a crazy spoiler, so it's not anything too big. Again, you should read the novel anyway. But the reason why he's dressed up like that is in the novel, when Xie Lian enters the mausoleum, there's a statue there that's guarding the two coffins, and it's dressed like a traditional like guard in the Shanla robes and everything. And that's Qirong. Qirong was posing as the guard with the statue in the robes in the dad's body. And so Xie Lian didn't think anything was weird about it because the mask was on. And plus, it's not Qirong, it's the dad, so he didn't think about it. And then Qirong came to life as the dad posing as the statue. So Qirong has possessed a human body. Awesome. And so Xie Lian, it's like, is he going to kill this human to try and get Qirong out? And I like Qirong's like, you don't know where my ashes are, so nothing's gonna stop me. Mwahaha. I absolutely am in love with how they made the possession look, because it's like, it still looks like the dad, but it's like the moment they got possessed, he's like, oh, my cousin Crown Prince. Like, you can see like the mouth becomes like Qirong and it has a twisted mouth. The eyeliner, if getting possessed by Qirong means that I'll instantly get permanent green eyeliner, it's a price I'm willing to pay. Oh my God, but it looks great. I love it. And then Xie Lian is just like, why did you let this happen to my mom? And Qirong's like, she's already been dead for 800 years. What difference does it make? And I love the constellation, like the stars and everything that like lit up in the ceiling of the temple. Like everything about Xie Lian going down into the temple was gorgeous. The ED playing was such an atmospheric, perfect choice. Mwah. It was just chef's kiss. I was absolutely in love with that scene. Absolutely in love with it. And Qirong's like, what difference does it make between her remains and dust? Isn't it still there? And then he talks about her taking down Anla and just taunts Xie Lian, just taunts him. And he's like, stop pretending to be dignified and a burdened saint. It's disgusting to see. And poor Guzi's sitting there being like, my dad, help my dad. And Xie Lian with his eyes glazed over in red, he's like, you get out of here on your own. If you don't come out, believe me, I'll drag your soul out by your tongue. And like, he's like, I'm not coming out, pull me out. Yeah! Like Qirong is just a menace, a trash king, a dumpster fire. And I love it. I love his character so much. He's like, it definitely won't tarnish your purity. Oh my God. And I've already turned your mother into ashes. Aren't you going to kill me and show your true colors? Oh my God. He reminds me of that peasant from Monty Python that's like, now we see the violent inherent in the system. He's like, I'm being helped. I'm being repressed. It's literally his attitude towards Xie Lian in this moment. And he's like, you're always claiming, he's like, you're such a colossal failure. You're always claiming to love your parents, and now their ashes are scattered, and you still can't make a move. I love how even when he's possessing the father, it's still Qirong. You can see it through. I was really worried about that going into this. I was like, oh, are they going to be able to pull it off? No, it looks great. I love it. It's everything I could have hoped for. Yep, even though you're pretending to be a mourning dog right now. And then he just keeps telling him to kill him. He's like, are you going to do it? And Xie Lian's like, fine, I'll do it. And then we cut away and it's like, And then he thinks about Banyu. And she's like, can you tell me, like, did I do the wrong thing? Did I do the right thing? And then he thinks about, like, seeing Anla and about having to kill him. And the idea, I always forget that Banyu was a Goshi too. And so her relation to Xie Lian in this moment, like, did we do the right thing? And then Hua Chong being like, look, it had to be this way. No one could have done it better than you. He's like, I would have done the same. And then we see the little kid with the bandage looking up at the statue. And we see Xie Lian saying the perfect illusions will shatter. But he keeps looking back to San Long on that wagon. And San Long saying, I would accompany you till the end. And they leave us off there. Oh my God. How dare they? How dare they leave us off there? Come on now. I don't know if they're going to give us an OVA later on this spring. It'd be amazing if they did. I don't know if they will or not, or if they'll just wait until season 3. I can be patient either way. I do want to review the OP and ED lyrics, look at the advertisement and the post-celebration video, but I'm going to, since I want to make that all one big recording, I'm going to do that after the spoiler corner. So there's going to be a timestamp in this video telling you where that is. I'll stamp the spoiler corner so you can skip all that part if you don't want novel spoilers. And then we'll look at the ad, we'll look at the post celebration and the OP and ED lyrics. And the OP and ED lyrics may have some mild spoilers. I'll try to keep it kosher, but you will be warned. So if you're not sticking around for those at the very end of the video and you're not sticking around for spoiler corner, I'm so excited for season 3. Look, Donghua only people. I'm only going to say this, and it's the least kind of spoilery thing I can say and get away with. It only gets better from here. That's all I can say. A lot of people said that book 2, when I was reading the novel, a lot of people said book 2 was their favorite, which was this season. And it is amazing. I love this season so much. But I was like, oh no, if this was their favorite season, it's not going to be any better, is it? Oh, it gets better. It's all uphill from here. It is. This story gets better and better and better and better. And that's all I can say. That's all I can say. And I'm going to be so excited to watch the Donghua with you as these seasons come out, no matter what Donmai I am on, because I have so much Donmai yet to read. I'm sure Donmai Mondays will be around for a while, but whatever Donmai I'm reading, when this new season comes out, we're going to watch it. It's just going to happen. That's all. The MXTX Mondays have to be a thing, right? So until that moment, if you're not sticking around for the OPED and other video portions of this discussion, and you're not sticking around for the spoiler corner, thank you for joining me with this series. I'm so excited, but I'm about to talk spoilers. So if you're not sticking around for that, I hope you all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe, take care, and I'll see you all very soon, hopefully soon, with more Heaven Official's blessing. Oh my God. I was really curious going into this if we were going to end on they really did soften the cliffhanger blow, right? I really would love for them to have had him raise that sword up, raise Feng Shen up, slash down, and it just cut to the ED and just been like, ha, ta, and that's it. Would have loved it. But I'll take the little montage, soften the blow, make these Donghua onlys not understand the power of the cliffhanger yet. Yeah, I would have been all about that. But holy shit, this episode. Oh, loved it. Honestly, when did they give daddy energy to Feng Shen? Feng Shen, daddy energy. What? I know he's a real father, but I was like, what the fudge? Why did they make him look hot as hell in this episode? I was like, I've never, ever been attracted to Feng Shen. Feng Shen, never been attracted to once in this entire series. This episode, I was like, you know. I was like, he's not that bad. I was like, but he was given daddy energy, and we know he canonically has a giant schlong, so ladies. I'm like all about function now. I'm like, what is happening? Also, every time I saw the Windmaster in this episode, I was instantly sad because this episode does some really good things. Like, for example, like the Windmaster instantly coming in and being like, guys, everything's all right. I instantly thought of him as the beggar at the end of the story where he like gets all the beggars. He's like, hey guys, come on. Like everywhere that the Windmaster goes, no matter where they are, Xie Ching Chong, they just have this infectious personality and they're so kind and helpful that they can't help but make friends. They really are the miscongeniality of this series. They're like the best friend with everyone. Like even when they're a beggar, even when they're a deity, even when they're a human, they are the boy who poured wine. They're the one that like made all the friends, right? And everybody loved. And so every scene with them in this episode made me infinitely sad because I was like sitting there internally screaming, going, Blackwater! Blackwater! The Blackwater arc is coming! And infinite sadness for the Windmaster. So, oh my God. So yeah. Also, can we talk about, I know Mu Ching was up in the corner snickering and like stroking his non-existent beard. I don't think Mu Ching's ever had an ounce of facial hair in his life. Good for him. But Mu Ching was just living, like having the time of his life, being such a cat, being like little meow meow, being like, Feng Shan, you've got blood all over you. Let me lick it off you. And then Pei Ming's like, my bad, whoops, and all this. But Mu Ching, good. Pei Ming, good. Feng Shan, daddy vibes, good. We need to talk about the ultimate daddy in the room this episode. This Donghua team, the tease of Junwoo, the absolute tease of him. Oh, I was like, you can't say anything, Romania, but oh my God. I was like, oh, can you, like the moment he's sitting there rubbing his forehead, just being like, I can't take these bitches. And all I could think of the whole time he was sitting there rubbing his temples is I'm just picturing the three faces all around him going, Junwoo, Prince of Leon, Prince of Leon, and him being like, don't worry about it. Oh, like going back and rewatching this series and these moments, knowing like you wouldn't, it was blowing my mind because I was just sitting there being like, that's Bai Wusheng the whole time. Like that's him the whole time. And you're just like, you just going back and rewatching, you're like, oh, because it is kind of like some of the stuff he does is kind of creepy. And then you're just like, wait a minute. Oh, it all makes sense. And just him sitting there, like having a headache in his expressions. And the fact that Ling Wen is there right beside him the whole time. And you're like, you, like his right-hand man. Oh, the betrayal. I love it, right? I'm really excited that we haven't seen, Shi Wudu yet in this. I'm glad they've kept him a mystery and we're not going to see him till next season. That's exciting. I like that. I like the idea we won't see Shi Wudu yet. But and also the idea that in this room where you see like all I could focus on the whole time that they were leaving the Great Martial Hall is the fact that there are just bridges everywhere. Just bridges crossing bridges. It's a design motif. I can't imagine why Junwoo would pick it. It's like he's torturing himself, just putting bridges everywhere. Like, why would you do that? It'd be a plateau. There'd be not a bridge in sight. Be like, bridges? No, tunnels. We're gonna make tunnels. Screw bridges. Nobody likes bridges. And so he makes them all leave except Xie Lian. I was trying to throw in a zinger with that whole, oh, this throne is big enough for 4 people because it's Junwoo and the 3 people he killed that are on his face. I was hoping so I would get that. Hope y'all got that. But I was just trying to like throw that in there. And then I was like, oh God, I hope the Donghua only people are being like, why did she say that? Again, that is a huge ass chair that him and all of his friends could sit in. And it is a direct, like, parallel to Hua Chong's divan in the Paradise Manor. And Junwoo's like, you want to come sit down next to Daddy? And I'm like, no, get away from him! He doesn't need to be, he needs to stay at least 500 feet away from all people under the age of 900. So, but I'm just, every expression Junwoo has in this episode, and the way he looks at Xie Lian, knowing that this is also Bai Wusheng, adds such a creep factor to it and such a layer of just sinister that you're just sitting there going, It's maybe one of the best full-on reveals is that Junwoo and Bai Wuxiang and all of them are the same. It's like it's one of the best reveals. It's just because you were suspicious of Junwoo from the start. You're suspicious of him from the start because you're like, well, it's like an authoritative figure, like, the twist of, oh, the daddy authoritative figure, he's actually the bad guy. But what you don't realize is he is the bad guy and has been this whole time. And you're just like, wait a minute, what? Because the show and MXTX convinces you that Xie Lian might be the bad guy, and he almost was. But then to throw that reveal that the human face disease and Bai Wuxiang and Junwoo are all connected, just face crack of the millennium. And now that moment where he looks at Xie Lian and says, let me share this joy with you. I was like, I really wonder what they're going to do with Bai Wuxiang's voice, because if they have the same voice actor, it's going to be obvious that it's Junwoo. So it's going to be obvious, right? Yes. That's like somebody was telling me that the dub voice actors in the Japanese dub for like Fu Yao and Mu Qing were the same. I'm like, well, that ruins the whole surprise. Then of course it's noticeable that it's the same character. Why would you do that, show? So I'm really hoping they get someone else to voice Bai Wuxiang. And then when the two characters merge together, they do like an effect where the voices merge together and become one. So they have a voice for Bai Wuxiang, they have a voice for Junwoo, and then eventually when they become the one character, the voices merge, and then you're like, oh, it's the same person. I hope they do that, because if they use the same voice actor, especially in the Japanese dub, it's Hosoya. Hosoya has such a distinct voice, you're gonna know immediately that it's him. So it's like, I hope they have a different voice for Bai Wuxiang. I really do. They need a different voice. Plus, Junwoo's voice, what made it such a shocking reveal is that you don't expect, because Bai Wuxiang's voice in my head reading sounds so different than Junwoo's, you don't expect them to be the same character. It would really be a cool idea if they gave Bai Wuxiang the voice actor for Xie Lian, because for a long time you think that Xie Lian is Bai Wuxiang, or at least I did. So if they gave Bai Wuxiang Xie Lian's voice actor and had that be the line and just change Xie Lian's voice, that would be amazing. And that'd be such a twist, because everybody would think, oh, Xie Lian's Bai Wuxiang, and then it comes out that it's not. I don't know how they're going to handle that. That's going to be really hard to handle, but I'm going to be excited to see what they do. I hope they get a different voice actor and then just meld the voices together. I really do. But God, everything with Junwoo, you just watch it and you go, oh my God. And all the dragon motifs. The reason why I freaked out at the well just now, in the non-spoiler corner, was because the well around the mausoleum where the parents are buried is the mausoleum, the like band around it is a dragon, and we know that Bai Wuxiang created the mausoleum for Xie Lian, so I was like, oh my God, that's like a hint. It's like, so, oh my God. But yeah, no big deal. No big deal. It's fine. And so yeah, so Xie Lian goes down to the mausoleum. That whole scene was amazing. I again forgot about the illusion. I was fooled. I loved the flashback parts of this. I thought they were handled so well. I loved him going back. I also loved the way that they just justified Xie Lian going, because that's a hard scene to translate into a donghua, because in the novel, Xie Lian is reminiscing. He's thinking, he's unpacking everything that just happened. He's reflecting on it. So when you have it wrote down on paper and it's all like internalized feelings, like an internal monologue Xie Lian's having, then it's easier to imagine him getting from point A to point B from the heavenly realm to the mausoleum. But I was wondering, I'm like, how are they going to get him there in this? And they made it work really well. Like reflecting and doing the montage of all his thoughts and getting him there. That part was beautiful. And then to have him go through his thoughts and seeing all the maple leaves and everybody going up the hill and seeing it, and then it all fades, right? To see him going up the hill, and I want to get to that point there. And he climbs the hill and sees like everything, and it looks so beautiful, and then it all fades, and it's like, oh, actually, that was all in his head. So good. And the fact that he uses function to cut through everything, and that's actually Junwoo's sword, it just, this whole scene was so well done. And then going down the mausoleum, the scene where he like has the lights and it's all of the constellations above him, like it was so much more beautiful than I could have imagined reading the novel. Like in my head, I had an idea of what it looked like. This looked amazing. It was so gorgeous. And then Chi-Rong gives Goozy's daddy a glow up. And it's like, I'm so happy about that too. Because I was so worried that Chi-Rong, I was afraid because, in the novel, when you read it, you're like, okay, Chi-Rong is possessing the dad. Is the dad gonna have like, how are they gonna have like Chi-Rong's essence be in the dad, right? How are they gonna do that? How's that gonna work? And then you find out that they just make it look like Chi-Rong, and it's so great. But damn, so they clearly had to censor I wish the Donghua onlys knew about the shroud and the fact that the shroud kept the mom's body preserved, and because it was taken off, then it just turned to dust. Maybe the actual dialogue explains that better, and the subtitles just weren't doing it justice. But that was one thing I regretted. And I didn't want to say anything because I want the Donghua onlys to read the novel. I hope they read the novel. But damn, yeah, Chi-Rong as the dad looks great. I'm glad that he will look like him. I'm glad he gets the makeup and everything and has instantly like the face. Like it's everything I wanted. I'm like, yes, he looks ridiculous and a trash king, and I love it. And his eyes change. I'm happy. I'm happy with this. I'm happy with the possession and the way they've drawn it with Chi-Rong and gave him the eyeliner. It's absolutely glorious. But damn, just making Xie Lian so mad. Everything about this entire scene, and then Chi-Rong with the tongue sticking out, I can't. I literally cannot. But then, yeah, we don't see Xie Lian has his, like, Sailor Moon hair, like, his, like, Sailor Moon, Princess Mononoke hair flashes, and then we cut to thinking, did I do the right thing? What if the third person doesn't have enough food? And seeing him in the rain with the umbrella. We're going to get that scene. Seeing Hua Chong in front of the temple. Like, just such little teases. How dare they, right? And then this point here, I didn't even think about this during the last episode, but Hua Chong says the 3 lives sacrificed to save everything else. That, the 3 lives sacrificed, Xie Lian himself, the Lan Chanchu's dad, and Anla are the 3 lives sacrificed to save Yongin and Shanla's relationship. That is directly contrasting the 3 lives that Junwoo sacrificed to try to save Wooyoung, and it failed. Like, the 3 lives of his friends he saved, they sacrificed, didn't work. But Xie Lian sacrificing himself and the other 2 did work. Oh my god, I was like, oh! When Hua Chong said that, I was like, I can't say anything because, oh my god! I'm so ready for season 3. I'm so ready for the flashback arc. I'm so ready for all this to get fleshed out. I cannot tell you all. Bai Wusheng in that swing. I'm living. I'm ready and I'm not ready. The baby, the human face disease. I'm like, the Donghua onlys have no clue what is coming. They have, because at this point in the novel, I was like, oh, when we got to the end of volume 2 and we started the flashback, I'm like, oh, we're going to see how Xie Lian met San Lang and how they got to the present. Just a little story. That's all. We didn't even know about the Blackwater and all that arc. God, it'll be like 10 years before we get to that. But this episode was great. Incredible. Loved it. Here for it. Amazing. Brilliant. Unstoppable. Unique. Lady Gaga saying all the compliments about it. It just has you so excited for season 3, right? It really does. So, yeah. So anyway, we're going to talk about a couple things. One is this advertisement. So the spoiler corner is now over. Spoiler corner is gone. We're gonna pull up these two videos. One is like a minute and 40, and I think it's the advertisement. I do believe. I'm gonna get my video ready here, but I'm gonna timestamp these as well so that y'all are aware of them as I'm recording. But I obviously don't want copyright to become a thing, and I wasn't gonna originally do the headphones for the post season 2 video and the advertisement, but then Reiki pointed out that this may have been blocked in other countries, and I was like, usually the US is part of that block, so I don't want that to happen. So we're just gonna cancel that out. We won't have to worry about it. But yeah, oh my god. So yes, let's we're gonna see first this advertisement. It's a minute 40. I'm so excited. I can't wait. But we're gonna start this first, and we're gonna look at that here in 3, 2, 1, and let's see what this is. I think, or maybe this is season 2's like celebration video, whichever this is. Oh. 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 Oh, that's so cute. Oh, look at him. Oh, there's a Windmaster. And Xie Lian with the hand. And the butterflies. Oh, this is so gorgeous. Oh, look at this shit. Oh. Oh my god, the way they've done this. Oh. Oh my god. Oh. Oh, that's all. Oh, that's all. That's all. It's fine. It's all good. That beautifully done. Beautifully made. Love that celebration video. I'm not going to talk spoilers in this because I said I wouldn't, but I will probably be on Discord on Patreon talking about that. Just a few details of that I'm like, "Oh, okay, no big deal." So, that was cute. That was beautiful. I loved it kind of encapsulated everything that just happened. I like Chi-Rong at the end looked like himself wearing the uniform, even though we know he's possessed the dad now. So this must be the advertisement then. We're going to look at that next. Whatever this ad is. I hope it's Cornetto. Like Moda Sushi. Oh, all the people are going to the Poochie Shrine. Oh, thank goodness Sun Long is cooking. Oh, I'm making food so you don't kill everyone in the village. Oh. Oh. Yes! None for you! What? A rock band? Oh. And then, of course, them touching hands with the bottle. He's like, are we going to have an indirect kiss with this bottle? Are we going to do that? Oh my god! Yes! Not as good as the Cornetto ad. The Cornetto ads from Odazushi are the funniest, most amazing advertisements that involve animation I've ever seen. And that's so funny. I wish I had a Cornetto. I don't think they're near me, which is so sad. But I remember in the Donghua that I was watching for Modao Zushi, the Cornetto ads were just there. They just pop up and you just be in the middle of an episode and then suddenly Wei Wuxian would have like an ice cream cone. You'd be like, what? They were the best thing in the world. Loved it to pieces, but that was freaking hilarious. Just so funny. So funny. Again, we'll talk in the Discord about it, but so funny. Oh my God. That's great. So yeah, so I did want to look at the lyrics, right? I did pull up the ED. I could find the opening lyrics in English on a website that we'll talk about here, but I couldn't find the EDs. So I had to look up a YouTube video for the ED, which I like the ED so much I don't care to listen to it again. But so the OP lyrics, I am going to go ahead and tell you all that there may be some light spoilers if I can't help myself looking at these OP and ED lyrics. So I'll try to keep it in check. But so the lyrics for the OP are here. Waiting for a round of whispers, the night deepens to full maturity. Waiting for a morning light to engrave a city. How many times have we fallen into the mortal world? How many times have we confounded the world? With unwavering gazes, who is waiting? Ooh, like this has happened over and over and over again, right? Tea cools and the night turned cold. A red umbrella shields the rain's traces. Let me be serious again about the part of faith. One glance at the city, and it's not the same as the old days. The centuries ebb and flow like dust in the wind. Who guards a lifetime without asking? Okay. Like I said, there are going to be some mild spoilers in here, so ye be warned. But the idea of like whoever's guarding without asking, like Hua Chong always being by Xie Lian's side without him knowing or asking for it, right? Him just being there and having faith in him, and then them doing it over and over again, all the different iterations of Hua Chong being there the entire time. Flowers and swords leave no marks, hanging a bright lantern, silver butterflies stain old dreams, and life and death need no more questions, yet you've been with me all the way. I mean, how many cycles of reincarnation in the mortal realm? I remain as I am by default, indifferent to sinking, the black water, and sinking, and falling, and oh my God, yes, I love it. An uneasy, lingering lamp extends into memories. Is that like Chi-Rong in the Green Lantern? The evening breeze sways, and the person in red is easily separated. Well, I mean, Hua Chong has been, how many times has he dissipated and come back? Rarely do you throw yourself recklessly, accompanying me through a lifetime of ups and downs. I mean, worries have no measure and concerns are like wrinkles. An entire constellation remains unbroken, a sincere truth. I mean, then the constellation above Xie Lian's head. Who attains enlightenment in a single day and ascends? Who wanders endlessly among gods and ghosts? Right and wrong are like blades that can hurt people. I mean, Xie Lian, just describing him to a T, right? And then the flowers and swords all over again, yet you've been with me all the way. I remain as I am by default, indifferent to sinking. Love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. All right, and then this ED. I've been more curious about the ED lyrics because they're so haunting. I'm like, I want to know what in the world, what are they? So let's hear this. Oh, return to dust. Oh my God, yes, there may be spoilers, so be warned reading this. I love this ED so much. It's so haunting and beautiful. It's gorgeous. Oh. The Xie Lian Bridge. An instant who becomes immortal again. Oh my God. The remaining clouds are swept by wind for how many years? And the bridge. Oh. My poem is unfinished. And I write with longing. So that's like Hua Chong. Which end of the world are you? Are you in the heavenly court? Are you in the mortal realm? Where are you? Moment sealed off, the connection broken. And there's where Xie Lian was buried under the coffin. Oh my god. Grudges are buried in a coffin, rising to the ninth heaven. Oh. And yet I refuse to heed the warnings. And then HuaChang, like, he dissipated into the butterflies. No! How dare. Attached to you with nowhere to seek signs. I've been waiting for thousands of years. Which, is that talking about Junwoo? Or HuaChang? Or Xie Lian? Oh my god! Oh god, this is so beautiful. So it's like, you know, is this from Junwoo's perspective and waiting on Xie Lian to be the one to show up? But it's also from HuaChang's perspective. People feel melancholic and raindrops add to the passage of time. And speaking of which, there's the Great Martial Hall. Who can judge whom? Oh! And then we cut to Qirong's lair. Facing my destiny, I don't resist. The hatred of many lifetimes should let go. Ah. Earthly ties haunt like shadows. Vows have dried in the wind. Ooh. How to explain eternal loyalty unto death. Oh my god! And it's like Junwoo, HuaChang, Xie Lian. Life like falling leaves. The maple leaves is ours. Eventually all will return to dust, so don't wait. Ah. Oh. In dreams I gaze at the old city, and I don't ask anymore, I don't follow. Ah. Oh. Love and hate are all fate. Oh, that line. Oh. That is such a good line. Love and hate are all fate. Oh. Oh, the feast of life and death. One who owns who. Don't argue about gratitude and resentment. Oh my god. Like, all this is about HuaChang and Xie Lian and Junwoo all together. Wow. Wow. And all will return to dust without a trace. Not letting this story fade out alone. Oh. Walking the world against the current for the rest of my life. Yes! Oh my god. That was so good. Oh my god. What? 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 Oh, y'all. Oh, y'all. This was just so good. This was such a good episode, and those were so great. So thank you, Reiki, for sending the advertisement and that celebration video. Oh my god. And I'm sad we have to wait for the next season of the Donghua. It's just so sad. But I am happy to know that they will probably be making a season 3. I am happy to know that. I am happy to know that even after I finish the novel, there will still be the live action coming up at some point, hopefully. So the journey with our boys Xie Lian and HuaChang is not over, which is great because I'm not ready for it to be over. So, oh my god, what a great season finale. I'm so sad it's over. It went by too quickly, but I'm excited to talk to you all about it in the comments down below. So let me know what y'all thought of the season finale. I thought this was great. I'm so hyped for season 3. Even if we have to wait years, it will be worth it because Heaven Official's blessing is worth it. So I hope y'all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe, take care, and I will be back very soon if you're a novel reader with more Heaven Official's blessing, and if not, we'll be back really soon if you're a Donghua person for some Scum Villain coming up here in a couple weeks. So stay tuned, y'all. Bye!